Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video, we will learn about the new Ollama Desktop App. So let's begin. If you want to run the LLMs locally on your machine, so what you can do is that you can just go to ollama.com and you need to download this one. And after that, you can download and run the models like DeepSeek, like Llama 3 and many more. Now, why you need to use this? Because in some cases, you might be concerned about the data being going to their respective servers. But here, if you are using the LM locally, so data is on your local machine. It's not going to any other server, right? So this Ollama has actually come up with a new app. Now, what's this new app is basically if you click on this one. So now you have a desktop version of this particular app where you can chat locally with the large language models, and there are multiple models available. So basically, this Ollama new app is available for macOS and Windows, and you can simply chat just like you have a cloud desktop version. You just need to provide a chat, and rest all will be done by the Ollama. So here, simply what you need to do is that you need to click on the download for the Windows or the Mac. So for example, we click on for the Windows, and here you need to click on the downloads. And once you click on this one, a file or Llama setup will be downloaded on your system. And once it got downloaded, you need to install that on your machine. Okay. Once you install, you will be having a Ollama here. This is the icon, and this is how it looks like. So basically, just like a chat, and here we can provide a chat. Now, this particular LM model is running locally on my system. Okay, so whatever I do, chat or any kind of prompts I do, it will not be going to any server. They are locally on my system now. Here, if you click on this one, there are multiple large language models available. Even DeepSeek is available, right? You simply click on this one to download. So this one is downloaded for me right now. And if you go to these settings over here, so you can simply sign in here. If you want to allow other devices or services to access Ollama, just turn on this one, and all the models you are downloading are basically stored over here. So let me copy this one from here, go here and paste it over here. So you see that all the files, all the model files are available here on my local machine, right? Now let's test this particular model, and you can download the other models. Like for example, you want DeepSeek this model, so just click on this one. Okay, so it will actually, as soon as I give a prompt, it will start downloading this one. Okay, right now let me go with this one. And what I have done is that let's test this one. And for in order to test this one, I have already written some prompts. So let's execute those prompts and see what happens. So basically, in terms of the software testing, so usually on the daily basis, we are writing the prompts to generate the test cases. We are writing the prompts in terms of the test automation scripts. We are writing the prompts for bug reports, API testing, performance testing. So I have these simple, prompts right now. Just copy this one, and let's see how this my local model works over here. This prompt and just enter. So this first prompt is basically saying that design 10 detailed manual test cases for the login page that includes username, password, remember me checkbox, and forget password link. Include positive, negative, boundary, and security test cases with the test steps, test data, expected results, and priority. So it's a well-defined prompt for this one, and just hit enter and see what happens. So locally, it will try to understand my prompt, and you see that it says that okay, the goal is to verify the functionality, usability, security of the login page, manual test cases. This is first test case, and with the valid credentials, okay, providing the test data, providing the steps, description, type of test, positive or negative, right? Then second, invalid username. Third test case, invalid password. So it's good enough to provide me the information based on my prompt. So our prompt also talked about the boundary, right? So password length, minimum and maximum, and forget password link functionality also being catered in these test cases, right? And if you remember in our prompt, we talked about the security perspective. So let me show you. So when we were writing and security test cases, right? So let's see. So basically, it's providing a security test case SQL injection as well for this login functionality cross-site scripting with the test data. So I think it's given us a very good output based on the prompt locally. Now let's try with the automation script over here. And we are saying that write a Selenium WebDriver Java test script using pay of the model to automate the login functionality for a sample web app. Include setup, create down proper session, show a clear for instruction and reusable component. So copy this one, and here let's provide this prompt over here. Run this one, and now everything is happening locally on my system because this large learning models, language models, basically LLMs are running locally on my machine, right? So it created a folder structure, and it says okay, base test, login page, home page, login page test, resources. Seems like a very good structure for the Selenium automation with the POM and with the Java, and it actually created a script, reusable utility class here, and logger.java, then login page.java, and home page, then login app. So apparently it looks like a very good based on the prompt we have provided where we talked about the page objects, form, reusable utilities, test data, assertion, setup and tear down. This is what we want. Logging, create a structure, and then again we need instructions to run this one. So dependencies, build, run test ng, and some important nodes for this particular script. So I personally think that locally, if we are getting that much of information, that's really cool. Now let's try with other prompts. So in case of bug reporting prompt, so given the scenario, so we are giving a scenario to the LM that a user is unable to reset their password when the email contains special characters. Write a complete bug report, include title. Now I'm giving the proper instructions. So this is basically a prompt engineering comes here where we need to draft a prompt in a very precise and very to the point so that the LM understand what exactly we are looking for. So here include title, description, steps, reviews, expected versus actual results, severity, priority, environment days, and screenshots placeholder. Okay, so let me copy this one and go back here, space this one, and see what happens. So now based on my prompt, so it's creating a bug report. Here's come up with the bug ID, date, and reported by, then open, title, description, severity is high, and this significantly impact the user access and creates a major usability issue, priority urgent. Then again, it gives me the details like environment details, steps to reproduce, then expected versus actual, and attachments. And again, I think this is a very good in terms of generating a bug report based on the information we have provided to this local LLM, right? And now let's go back and let's use this fourth prompt where we are saying that using Postman or the REST show write the test cases and automation code for the REST API endpoint users that supports guest, post, put, and read methods, include validation for the response code, headers, JSON schema, and negative test scenarios. So let's see, again, it's a very generic prompt in nature, but let's see what it comes up with. It's based on the prompt. So let's start with the Postman. So it says on Postman allows to quickly set up and run the test without needing to write the extensive code. Okay, endpoint / users. Methods are these ones, and these are the Postman test cases. And here it comes up with the rest assured code as well, because we asked for Postman or rest assured, but the LM is smart enough to provide the solutions for the both. Okay, and here you see that we get the code for rest assured and explanation of the rest assured code as well. We, even though we didn't ask for that, but still we got the very good explanation what this particular code is doing and some important points for the consideration. And I think this is pretty good, and in terms of the response we are getting. Now finally, let's go with the performance testing prompt. Here basically we are saying that explain how would you design a JMeter performance test for an e-commerce checkout process, include the test plan, number of users, ramp up strategy, key performance metrics, response time, throughput, error rate, and how you would analyze and report the results. So again, very well draft prompt for the LM, and go back here and provide this one here and see what happens now. So okay, let's design a JMeter performances for e-commerce checkout process. So this will cover the key elements for the realistic and insightful test. Now it comes up with the test plan overview. Okay, the scope. The scope is that this test will focus on the critical steps of adding items to the cart, processing to the checkout, entering shipping details, like payment methods. Again, if we come up with a very exact prompt, then we will get the very exact output. But here, the prompts are a bit generic in nature, and so that's why I want LM to think around this one and come up with the best. Okay, but when you are working on something specific, then be specific in terms of writing the prompt for that one, right? So here it says, okay, in the JMeter test plan, add the thread group, number of threads, then ramp up in this way, then loop count, scheduler, then HTTP request for add to cart, proceed to check post, checkout, then shipping details, payment details, order confirmation, all the endpoints should be added for this one. Then post processor, so JSR 223 post processor used to capture the response times, HTTP status code, and potentially the analog details can be used for the custom add sessions. And again, listen. So it gives me a very good thoroughly about my prompt here, right? So I downloaded this locally. Now this LM is working locally on my machine. So here you see that it's not searching on the web. So the drawback here is that if we talk about something new in the market in the real-time data, so obviously this local LM doesn't have access to that information. But still, in order to use for daily purpose tasks like this ones as a software tester, I think this is good to have a local LLMs where you have a security and privacy concerns that you don't want to share your data with those particular LLM servers. So in that case, obviously you should go download this one and use with the peace of mind.